A common challenge in managing projects is to nail down the actual requirements. A good place to start is the project charter. Whether or not a formal charter is used, confirm with the requester or sponsor on the objective of the project, and if not already provided, create a high-level scope statement to work from, with the intention of revising it into a detailed scope statement once additional analysis is completed. You can reference the triple constraints to help define requirements, and remember to identify additional constraints around quality and/or end-user experience. Although the work breakdown structure is typically utilized to identify deliverables, you may uncover multiple options with your project team where a decision is needed in order to move forward. An example of a decision you may encounter might be whether or not to develop functionality in-house or outsource to a third party that already offers a solution. If pursuing an internal solution, ensure that resources are available and have the necessary skill set. If considering a third-party solution, be sure you understand all the internal compliance and/or regulatory implications involved, as they may add a considerable amount of time to the project lifecycle. In working with the requester, sponsor, and project team, clearly identify the have-to-haves, such as they may relate to regulations governing your industry, and the nice-to-haves that are not necessary but could be helpful in the marketing of the product or service. If the nice-to-haves are pursued, ensure you have a change management process in place to prevent scope creep. At the start of your project, you anticipate learning new information as you begin the planning process and clarify requirements. As you get further into your analysis, you may very well uncover previously unidentified requirements, especially if your project is delivering brand new functionality. Sometimes a requester already has a solution in mind and submits this as a requirement. Work with the requester to identify the desired outcome and any specific features that you can then reframe as requirements. Remember to check on any processes that may potentially be impacted by your project or if a new process will need to be implemented to support the new functionality or service. If this is the case, be sure to document and consider in the timeline. Ultimately, you will end up with requirements in different categories, which can then be helpful in prioritizing and tracking. In creating the requirements management plan, include sections to describe how the requirements were identified, any analysis performed on those requirements, supporting documentation, how change control will be handled, prioritization, validation, and acceptance of those requirements, as well as the requirements traceability matrix. In summary, start with what you know. Question, research, and analyze the information you acquire along the way. Document and confirm with the requester to ensure a thorough understanding of the requirements. Track the progress and validate results in a requirements traceability matrix. Also included this month is a reference guide for creating a requirements management plan. I hope you find it helpful.